Hi, welcome to Draw Plans. I'm Tom Norris, and today we're focusing on bathrooms. It's generally speaking, we get a lot of inquiries about bathrooms, and every project we do obviously involves bathrooms. And what I would say to you is, when it comes to small bathrooms, especially in the UK, where we have smaller homes and tiny bathrooms, it's very, very difficult, I suppose, to come up with something original or different. But what I decided was that I would give you an idea as to how we approach and how we detail out a bathroom. So if you're a CAD user, or if you know a little bit about CAD, there's nothing to stop you from tinkering and playing around, so that you can communicate ideas and designs to your all and sundry, I suppose. So for this tutorial we're using TurboCAD, again TurboCAD Deluxe, which is my preferred bit of software for these kind of projects. Got the tool palette open here on the right, and I'm sure you all know how to get that from watching my other videos, but in case you can't or don't know, I'm going to close it briefly and open it up again. So to open it up and get the tools that you want, I used two sets, by the way. I used a tool palette here, and I used a right click palette, and the right click offers up, these are like pop-up toolbars. So these are the tools that I use mostly for this kind of architectural design. So if we go up here to the right and then right click anywhere in the space, you're going to get pop-up toolbars, which is my right click tools, and that's got basic bits and pieces. It's got the line, it's got the inspector bar. Well, let me pop-up toolbars, I was on the wrong one. Line and modify, that's basically what I need open when I right click. And for the palettes on the right, basically the tools, the tool palette will be the one that we generally have open. So my approach here now for this, this is just a little bit of a makeup, just to give you an idea how to get you going. Hopefully it'll stimulate or motivate you to get your CAD package out and start playing with bathrooms, because there's loads you can do or there's little you can do. It depends on what your needs are or what you're trying to communicate. So for this bathroom, I started off, I had a little look around online to get a little bit of motivation for a bathroom maybe that, you know, looks quite nice. And I thought this one is kind of contemporary. These old Victorian tiles are back in fashion. They're like the old tessellated tiles that we used to have in the Victorian Edwardian hallways, etc. But they're very much back in fashion. Now, what I liked here on this bathroom was I liked the black framework, and it's a little bit like the Crittall style, which is very, very much in vogue, and not everyone can afford it because it's damn expensive. But this would be aluminium sprayed out in black, and in fact you could make your own. You do timber and then just spray it all in satin black or matte black, etc. So there's loads of ways you could do it if you were trying to do a cheaper version of it. This could be one whole section of glass with a tiny framework on top to give the illusion of sections. It could be single pieces built into a timber framework. Loads you can do here if you're thinking about designing a bathroom and you like this. And you like this kind of separation. This is they've created a walk-in shower. It's slightly about 40-50 mil off the floor, which is lovely. It's just the thickness of the tray. They've managed to use the same tile from the floor onto the back wall, which is, you know, again quite nice if you've got a rectangular shaped bathroom, and that works really well. Now, what's also very popular is the niche, and they've done the niche very well because they've done it full width. They've got white or aluminium or chrome, steel maybe band on the edges, and again that too looks lovely. What gets missed sometimes is you're in a position where you can add some LED lighting here, and that can look really special. And it's so cheap and very simple to do that. You can have the LED lighting with a little sensor. It can be a whole variety of ways of controlling it, but the niche is very, very popular, and it's a great way to jazz up a little tiny bathroom. Get a niche in there, possibly get some LEDs, little strip light, etc. You don't want to see it, you just want to get the effect of the lighting. So maybe a little hidden track up there, or a little bit of recess again into the top of the niche. But either way, you don't want to see the actual light fitting, you just want to get the glow of the light. But it's lovely, it's quite lovely. Now on the left I've done the rectangular, I call them tube tiles, because I used to see millions of them in the underground, on the London Underground, and that shape. And of course it's done in the brickwork fashion, which has been staggered. And what they've done is they've done a white tile with a grey grout, or it's a grey kind of picking up on the colours in the actual the Victorian tile here, the tessellated tile, which again, it's very simple, very straightforward, but the design is good. So you've got a square tile here, you've got a little rectangular, they've stepped it, they've done the black framework, they've got a Victorian roll top radiator combined with a towel rail. It's coming straight out of the floor in chrome, which is lovely. They've got a kind of a Victorian loo going on here, which is probably better than a contemporary or modern or a space saver loo. And it's quite lovely. It's not the old-fashioned Victorian loo. It's kind of a modern version of the Victorian loo, which is quite lovely. But it very, very much suits. If we look at the shower unit, it's all been recessed into the wall. There's obviously a big shower head at the top, which again is very much in vogue, very popular. And they've got Victorian fittings on the shower unit. Absolutely gorgeous for a simplicity. Again, the black framework on the picture picks up on the black partitioning, which is again absolutely lovely. So I felt I was drawn to the picture immediately, or the photo, when I saw it. So I thought might be an idea to try and represent some of those items in a little small bathroom design, and possibly make a little tutorial. So that was the inspiration for this. And what I did here was I started off with I just laid out a little space that would be a bathroom. It's about 3 meters by 2. What have we got? 2 meters by 3.4 nearly. Pop a door in. Didn't pop the window, but that's an outside wall because it's thicker. So what I did on this one was I popped in the window. Traditional window with the box sash sitting on the inside, so that the reveal is on the outside rather than the inside. Again, because it's away from the shower head over here, it's really not going to be damaged by water, etc. So the shower head represented a very simple way of doing it. It's what have we got? A 2 meter wide. Yeah, well, it's 1940. Yeah, it's probably starts off as a 2 meter, gets recessed in. This isn't showing quite right here, so I'm being negligent here. Something's moved perhaps while I was messing around. And then you put in a drainer, represent a little bit with a few lines so that it's showing the flow of water. Could do more lines if you want. Put in a shower head, and I popped in the panels, and again very simply done. And you can go as heavy as you want here. You can put in the little framework and pop the glass in between, and it's up to you how much detail you want to put in, but generally you're given the layout for the bathroom. So on this one I popped the loo in there, popped the sink in, got bored with it and decided, okay, let's just mess around with floor tiles. So what I did was I took a tile and just copied and ended up, I wanted to see what it would look like having these on the floor. And it's not a great idea to do, simply because when you go to put anything on top, you see how your sink looks now. Your sink is there, but you can't see it. So it's not really the smartest thing to do if you're designing. But I wanted to try it, and I wanted to show you that it is possible. So you bring in a photograph like so, and then I'd cut out a tile from here, and I decided then to pop the tiles together. And if you want to put loads of things together like tiles, and you want to keep them absolutely spot on, then what you do is, let me just do, see, this is memory hungry when you start bringing in loads of photos and playing with them. But what I'm going to do here, if I'm permitted, is, let's see, yeah, once you start working with these kind of photos, come on, there you go. So if I go 10, there you go. Now what happens is when I go to put this one next to it, I don't put it directly on the tile. I put it on the end of that point. So if I kept copying like so now, yeah. Let me give you an example. Control C. Now what I do is, so I'm showing you how to replicate. Sorry, my computer is lagging now because of come on, there you go. There you go. So you can do this as much as you want, and then afterwards, if you want to take out the little bits, you can. But it's how you can get perfect joins, or perfect gaps between perfect spacing, I should say, between. So that's what I did, messing around, seeing the floor. But what I didn't like was, of course, that and I'm doing it deliberately to show you that you can't see anything you put on top. So that doesn't really work from a point of view of communicating a design. So what I do, just get rid of that, and let's move along, because what I did then was you can see, let me just copy and paste that. I just got a box, and I put a pattern in, and I think I might have done this one. Then I changed my color, light gray, took off the border by using a blank border, and that's what you've got. Then of course you can fill. You look, it just so that you actually know. So in my case, I'm putting the yellow D on there. Actually I'm not, but I'm just putting it back. How about putting it back? I can do it this way. There you go. Just putting it back. Yeah, I was showing you that this comes out, that you can actually do a little bit of fill on a normal square or shape and create the tile design for that. So we've got a floor design, and then I do it light gray. So you've got something rather than just pure blank. And of course, as you zoom out or zoom in, depending on when you're looking at this in PDFs, the shapes or the sizes will automatically change. I decided I'd go for a his and her sink on this side, and then maybe a loo on the others. And I decided, what kind of color? So I picked color-wise medium turquoise, and I did the same for here. And then I changed these. When it comes to the fill here, it's important that we fill out the walls because you can get a better view, I think. It's up to you. Maybe you'll think differently. And then this one, the polyline here, you can go for nothing if you want. It's up to you, but it's up to you as in how you depict. Maybe this is better than what I just had. Also, when you're doing a little project for a bathroom and you're doing this for a client and so on, I think if you're doing it, you need to kind of give them an idea on the walls. So here I was a little bit lazy. All I wanted to do was to create each wall. So these are for this bathroom. You got the outside wall, which is this one, and then you got the inside wall, which is this one, but you're seeing it from the inside. That's why the door is on the right. So it's up to you now if you were doing this wall, for example, you'll have the his and her sink, you'll have the shower screen, the little everything that you think is on this wall, be it a mirror, a picture, or whatever. And then on this wall you'd have the loo, you'll have the towel rail, the roll top towel rail, whatever you want, but it's up to you to do it. And what I would say also is that when you're designing, if you end up going for say a space saver like this, then put a little visual image in, and you can show the component parts for the bathroom. This is because some clients won't know what a roll top towel rail / radiator is, so put it in. Likewise, this is a twin, his and hers, but it's a vanity unit, so it's off the floor, they're absolutely fantastic. So maybe this would work better here with an off the floor pan and a recessed cistern with a flush panel on the front. But it's up to you to decide, and then there's so many variations you can have. But my point, of course, is that bring in the images into the drawing, and likewise, when it comes to the tiles and the textures and the finishes, bring in image to show. Now, this one I deliberately left the outline on because you may not know how to get rid of the outline. So if you bring a photo like this one, it's got an outline on, but just click on the nothing, the outline disappears. Likewise. So I thought, you see, it's useful to pick up little bits and pieces as we move along. I'm not quite happy with that outline, so let's just move it down here. So now the idea is that you learn a little bit about bathroom design, but you also learn a little bit about how to use the software. So as I said, TurboCAD, we've got we're metric going. We're drawing on full size, one equal to 100, but the drawings are actually done in metric. So this is basically how I would start off, and if I had a decent bathroom project to do and I wasn't quite sure how to finish it off or how to do it or how to communicate ideas, I'd start off by sketching out the design or the layout for the room. Then I'd put a few bits in it. So on a normal plan, this would be about it. I might go as far as here, and sometimes we will use the fill tool just to fill in the walls so that we can it'll make us focus on the internal sizing for the bathroom. It'll make us focus on what's inside by sealing off the walls or filling in the walls. Okay, so the idea was to stimulate, give you some ideas, and for bathroom design. So hopefully we've done that. And there's millions of bathroom photos online. So when it comes to bringing them in, so as an example, again, it's if we're bringing in photos to inspire or to motivate or communicate. So you just go on Google, and I'm going to bring Google in here for a minute, and so if I go bathroom design, BATH, I'm just going to show you the procedure for bringing in a photo or two. So we look at images, so let's just pick any image. Pick this one, for example. I'm going to save it. Oops, it's not a savable one, so we have to cut it. So this one I bring in Snip and Sketch. So Snip and Sketch, which is on every computer, and then I go New, I'm going to take a little snip, and I've got the snip here. Now I'm going to save it. I'm saving it on downloads. That's fine. Get rid of that. Get rid of Google. Now if I go here back into TurboCAD, I go insert picture, and there's my bathroom, and open it, drag it down a bit, and there is your picture. Now, another thing about bringing pictures into TurboCAD is that sometimes you want to change the shape, or you want to change the size of the picture, and what you mustn't do is this, because as you see now you've killed the scale. So what you do before you let me just reset that. So now it's when you bring it in and you drag it down, it does it in proportion. So what I'm going to say is, before you do any other modifications to the image, just right click and you go keep aspect ratio. So now if I change the size of the image, come on then. It doesn't want to change, not surprising. So sometimes you drag it from different corners, it works fine. This is embarrassing. But keep aspect ratio is important. Oh, there you go. Finally, so again it decides to change, but if you're changing it or you're making it bigger, always make sure you hit aspect ratio, because if you don't, then you're going to take the image is going to be completely out of proportion. So it's very important. We use the same technique when we bring in PDFs into TurboCAD. Use the keep aspect ratio so that any change will be done on the width and the height, etc. Okay, I can get rid of that. And again, last thing, remember, if you don't want the outline, so say you bring in an image that like this one, this would have had an image, so this would have had an outline. So if you don't want these to show, I'm going to do another one. If you don't want these to show, then select blank on the images, and then you can group them as you see fit. Yeah, same for the bigger pictures. Okay, so as I say, the idea was to show you generally what we would do to start detailing out a bathroom. So you don't have to be a hugely skilled CAD technician to do this, but these are great little projects to just fool around with, and because for every hour you spend playing with these or working these out, then you're learning how to use CAD, because you're solving problems all the time. So again, if you're scratching for stuff to do, then go measure your bathroom, do an outline, and then decide how you want to lay it out, and then draw the internal walls out, and start shopping on Google then to get some samples of the bits and put it together as a complete package, so that you can represent or communicate design, the layout, the color scheme, the mood for the bathroom, based on an image or something like that. And that's a great way of improving your skills, and of course it'll help you also if you're actually designing a bathroom for yourself, then far better to see it on CAD first than going out and ordering a load of the wrong stuff. Okay, that's as much as we're going to do for that. So hopefully you've advanced just a touch, and you can add what you've learned to your your catalogue of skills for TurboCAD. And I'm quite sure that the procedure is very similar within AutoCAD, but as I say, I like to use TurboCAD for these smaller projects. So if you haven't got it, you should go and get it. And you can get the cheap starter pack, about $30–40. It's a great way of getting into architectural design and being able to sketch things out or draft things before you actually commit to buying anything. My wife, she does paintings, and she likes to see the frame and the mounts and the actual picture within the frame before she before she actually creates these things. So of course she uses CAD. She uses, I think, the same version as I do, TurboCAD. So she uses it for that. So if you're a shop designer, you know, if you're and you know, if you do anything, if you're putting shelves up in a front room and you just draw out the wall and use your CAD to communicate it and see what it looks like. And it's, as I say, keep it all simple, but definitely use CAD before you actually create, because that's the smart way to go. Okay, I'm off. Hopefully you learned something. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've got some value out of this. See you in the next video. Thanks a bunch. Bye.